Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good whatever, wherever you are.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, Aman. Hello, Zorka.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to be here with you again this week for a topic that Aman suggested today. He suggested that we could talk about loyalty. And when Aman came up with this the idea of that subject, I told him first, oh my God, loyalty doesn't feel very inspiring to me. It resonates with royalty. It feels like something that is pretty stuck, pretty cold, pretty unattractive to me, uninspiring, honestly. And then by like being with it for a little while, um, I started to feel that actually there is probably something behind this that is way bigger than just this unattractiveness or the lameness of the subject. That for me at least, and I think that uh, for Zorka also she had a little resistance, and maybe Zorka, you want to tell us how you felt when the idea of talking about loyalty came up?
Yeah, sure. So, my experience was I wasn't really like n- resistant, but more like, well, this feels like fixed. It's not moving. It's stagnant. Something very stagnant and almost like that I could not move from. And so it's almost like I had nothing to say about it because it was not moving. And like Daniel, I also thought like, well, usually since we speak about energy, when something is fixed, is not moving energetically, it's crystallized, which means like it has taken a shape and a form. Um, the fact of putting this thing in motion actually lets freeze a lot of energy from the form, because once the form that can come as a belief or as a perception or as a relationship we have with this thing, this word for example, then it starts to open up some new possibilities because the energy is being freed from the way we hold it in a certain shape. And so that's how I felt, and for that reason I I'm interested in exploring this subject to see what comes out.
Ex- Excellent, excellent. Hi
So what about
everyone.
you, Aman? What is your motivation to to have come up with this word?
Actually,
That subject?
first when I suggested was uh, I was present to in a business for a while. I was in this business setting, and I was one of the most important element for me, or justification to staying in that, was being loyal. And by the friend who was asking me, and by myself to keep myself in there. And it was very hurtful. And the way that you're saying it, Zorka, is exactly, it's like everything was telling me, you need to let go, let the things move. And I was attached and I was not letting go. And it was hurtful, physically, mentally, emotionally hurtful. And one of the things that happened during COVID, it was very natural progression that helped me to let go of it. And all of a sudden, horizons opened for me, opportunity opened for me, and things start showing up that before that was not present. And then I realized, oh my God, how much, because I didn't grow up in a democracy. I grew up in a country that has a king, and then we went through revolution, and some people were agree with this, some people agree with that, and all of those process of, maybe you guys see it in a history of France or some stuff. But the way I grew up, loyalty has an important place. And I thought, I realized how much this having loyalty to what? It's a good question to ask myself. Having loyalty to who? Having loyalty, especially in work of transformation, to what part of myself? Because that makes a big difference. I saw it in the coaching many times. People come, they want to shift their life, they want to change their life, they want to have a relationship, they want to have business, they want to have successful business. But I see they grow to a certain level, but then there is a certain level they don't let go of certain patterns. And then what is really underneath of it, they want to be loyal to something that is not working anymore. And they're expecting to have success by staying in that frame, in that structure, staying in that. So I realized, oh my God, it has so many dimensions, this conversation. You can hear it in advertisement when they are talking about how we can create loyalty with our customers. How can we bring them back to come back again and again? And then I said, oh my God, this is huge. And especially, Daniel, you said something that is like, we are not even aware that we are loyal to certain things. And it's exactly, there are many things that we are not even aware of it. Oh, if I go to this restaurant, I have to sit in that table, or I have to order that food with this kind of drink. And all of a sudden, it's like there is a relationship between our habits and our loyalties. So there is a lots of stuff. There is a lots of stuff we can talk. And I don't want to go on and on and on. But I realized, oh my God, how much loyalty was rooted in my conscious and subconscious. And I was not even aware of it. So that was the reason I thought maybe it's good to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Zorka, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, I actually was inspired by what Aman was saying, and I was thinking how when we work therapeutically with people and we see patterns in ourselves or others, really, it's. But I'm seeing that a lot as a therapist and working with people. How we are loyal to our families, to our lineage, and that's what I see happens very often is when somebody in the system starts to do some therapy or some personal work, whatever that is, and they start shifting some patterns, that loyalty is shaken off, and actually it shakes off the whole system. And then usually the family or the lineage, the family or the system tries to actually take them back and say, hey, no, you cannot do this, because this is how we recognize each other. This is, even though it might be dysfunctional, but this is how we recognize that we are the system, the family.
Exactly.
And so it takes quite a bit of strengthening to be able to kind of stand on our own and go like, no, I'm shifting this and let everybody else do what they do and see how the system transforms to this person, like in relationship to this person that has actually made the shift. So yeah, that's a very interesting point for me.
Very good point. Exactly.
Yeah, so it seems that in the word loyalty, there is a lot of unconsciousness oftentimes. People are loyal to a system, to a behavior, to some addictions, to some drugs, whatever that might be, substances, and then it's very unconscious, of course, but they're very loyal to that. And when you see people who are addicted to substances, usually they are addicted to one or two or several, but usually always the same ones. Addicts like their specific substance. And so that loyalty is very unconscious, very transparent, but very strong at the same time. So so it seems to be a serious break for evolution to be loyal in an unconscious way. So because can you maybe give do you guys have any examples of healthy loyalty? What can be healthy in being loyal? What can be healthy? Is there a good aspect, good side of being loyal? I mean, do you have any examples?
Exactly. Actually, one of the things I can say is like, especially in work of transformation, we have these conflict voices in our head, huh? A part of us says, let's do this. Another part says, let's do that. And sometimes we choose by the loyalty that we have to this voice, because I always did the things that way. And the point is, and what you said already about addiction, the point is some of the loyalties that we have to certain way of being or doing or even having is coming from an old definition of loyalty with a different, it's like a completely different consequence and completely different result causing that way of being, doing, and having. Just imagine if I'm loyal to my work of transformation, if I'm loyal to myself, my growth in some schools, if I'm loyal to my higher self, than being loyal to my ego. If I am willing to let go of some of the old patterns of my ego and start doing certain things that is opening up my life, am I willing to do that, or am I justify it with my loyalty? Mm-hmm. And when something is, it's like, I remember a friend of mine that was a serious smoker, and I was telling him, if you don't want to quit, he was saying, no, I love this, I'm not going to quit or something. And then it comes to a time that when he went to doctor told him, if you continue this, it's going to kill you. And then there was a time he cut it off and it stopped. It was like he was almost loyal to death to that thing, till finally realized I cannot continue this way and stop that. And that frozen experience that you mentioned, that things are stagnate, I think this definition of loyalty, you can hear it in institutions, in political structures, even in religions. Just imagine what happened with the Catholic Church. They were more loyal to how it looks, and they don't want to damage church by acknowledging something wrong in their system and putting under the carpet what was happening with the kids in the church. And then when it starts coming up, some of the people who were committed to truth and committed to church, to real church, that real church should not have such a thing, then it's like all of a sudden, both of them, they have loyalty, but some of them have loyalty to the truth, to higher possibilities and higher potential. And some of them, they just have a loyalty to keeping the form and forget what is underneath of it was or what it is. It's amazing that one word can take us to the best result in our life, or it can destroy everything. So that's the way I can say it.
So what comes to me when you say all that, Aman, is that loyalty can be coming from an intention of like mesmerizing people, like in marketing. Why would a brand need to bring people to have loyal customers and to enroll them in being loyal, or convince them, or trick them to be loyal? If what they do is really honestly good, then there's nothing to be done about working on having loyal customers. They would naturally be loyal. If it's good for them, they would come back without like a whole discourse and a whole spiel to make sure that they come back. So loyalty is a mean actually to bring people to stick to something and to stay in a certain frame or in a certain way of thinking or way of doing things. And so it can be a double-edged sword. What starts to come out from this talk, and you guys are gonna say what you feel, is that it's a totally double-edged sword. Loyalty can be a very good thing when you choose consciously to be loyal to something that is good for you, that is serving you. And it can be completely detrimental to your well-being and to maybe even people's well-being if it's unconscious and you're just loyal because you're used to this and it's been that in your family for eons. And political parties, that's a very good example.
Exactly.
People are usually in the same old party for generations, and that's the same in many different countries. We've seen this everywhere. So if it's a conscious choice to be loyal to something, then it can be very good because it's healthy in that case. But if it's unconscious and you're just there because of habit and maybe laziness or whatever it might be, then it can be completely detrimental. And I think this is a little bit what's coming out for me in this conversation. So I'm excited about loyalty, but when it's conscious. Zorka, you wanted to say something? Maybe we can go for a last little round because we can coming to the end of our time today.
Well, I think you asked before what would be like a positive relationship to loyalty. I think if we're loyal to our deepest values that are aligned with our spirit, and the expression of our life energy, then that's good loyalty. And positive, I mean, good. It's not. It's an opening up loyalty. Yeah, like what happened. Also, just being I think religions are a really good example, because most religions have actually lost sight of what it is that they're loyal to, because really religions are like structured, there are rituals and structures that are supposedly first and foremost there to come into contact with the invisible world, with spirit, with to bring ourselves back to the source and to our essence. And so since the essence is the same for everyone, every religion brings us to the same place, just from a different track. And so we see how deviation in our religions and like worshiping the form and structure and thinking that this is the only structure has brought to wars. And I think it's a really good example of what good and bad loyalty could be about.
Mm,
That's my
mm,
Beautiful, beautiful.
mm,
And the way I see it also, we can just what am I loyal to? This loyalty, it brings my higher potential or it's against my highest potential. Very simple. And when I'm being like this, or when I am doing like this, how I feel. Am I happy with who I am? My body is happy. My mind and emotion is working with me, or I'm in conflict or pain or going through hardship. So that's a very simple measure for it. That am I loyal to something that is working for me, or is I'm just loyal because I'm addicted to it and I don't want to let go of my old patterns.
mm.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Aman.
I think
That's
this
great.
is going to be our last word for today. I like your conclusion, Aman. Feels
Thank you
very
so
inspiring.
much.
Thank you so much. You guys enjoy a beautiful week, uh, and be loyal to what is really serving you. That's my suggestion.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Be